In this video, I want to do an update on the PPP and its interaction with the Qualified Sick Leave Family Leave Act, which is the FFCRA, and also the ERC, the Employee Retention Credit. In this update, I kind of want to utilize the questions and comments that we're seeing on the YouTube. I would say for the most part, the comments are on point, but I think it just says with this discussion, we need to kind of summarize it, put it in a straightforward format. And so, like, for example, one of the questions says, since you have to exclude any emergency paid sick leave and or emergency paid FML from the PPP forgiveness, can you take both without double dipping? The answer is yes, but more importantly, why? And this is kind of going to go into the dialogue of a lot of the comments out on the video. What happened? We had this timeline. In one of our first or second videos, we kind of covered this, but you have this, Family First Act. It happened. Then we had CARES, which was the ERC happen. And then we had the PPP. As long as you don't use the same money for the family leave, or as long as you don't use the loan money from your PPP on the family leave, you're not double dipping. But let's continue this dialogue because, as I look at these remarks, the next one, if I didn't receive my PPP loan until May, can I take the FFCRA credit until I receive the loan? The answer is yes, but you could actually do it after you get a loan because it's the ERC that you cannot do with a PPP. But the family leave, you can do both as long as, and again, this is clarification since we did the video. In the clarification, we can utilize the family first leave credit as long as it's not out of the loan proceeds of the PPP. And then I have a remark, and let's go on ahead and kind of now fold in the ERC. If an employee receives a PPP loan, even if not $1 is forgiven, that's really important. If you get a PPP loan, then you don't get the ERC, whether or not $1 is forgiven. The employer cannot claim the employee retention credit on any of its employees. And remember, when this happens, because I get the question, well, and I'll back up to the prior question, what happens if I get the PPP? What stops or starts? The ERC you cannot take, and there's probably one exception with no guidance. The ERC started in March. I believe if I look at my chart here, it started on March 13th. From March 13th until the enactment of the PPP, I think you have a foundation to claim that credit. You would have claimed that on the second quarter, even though it was in the first quarter. Again, we did a video, and if you'll see below on the new 941 for second quarter, you will find how to do that. But back to the point, if you do the PPP, you do not qualify for the ERC. And I see questions, well, what about before or after? It doesn't matter. You don't qualify. And notice, even if there's no forgiveness of debt on the PPP, the key is you got a loan, you don't qualify for the ERC. But you still can utilize the Family First Leave Coronavirus Relief Credit as long as you don't use PPP money. And again, I really appreciate the comments and the dialogues because this helps me to understand if we're connecting on the video, and also sometimes in this, because we got further guidance. I hope today I've helped to clarify the series of comments and the questions. I'll keep watching your comments. I appreciate them all. With that, I hope this helps again to capitalize. If you get a PPP loan, you cannot take the ERC unless it's maybe in that period prior to the PP loan passing at the end of the March, from March 13th forward. No guidance on that. That's just my interpretation. Stay tuned for further guidance on that. But you can use the FFCRA, the Family First Coronavirus Relief Act credit, simultaneous with a PPP, as long as you're not using PPP loan money. Or another way to say it, you cannot double dip by using the same money for the two of them. Hope this helps. Thank you for the comments. Stay tuned, subscribe, and again, thank you.